All right, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from StreetScores. I cannot believe it's gotten to this point, but breaking news. Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin officially requests a trade from the Washington Commanders. It's a time to panic. We're going to dive into every side of this, from Terry's side, from Adam Peters' side. Everybody's feeling about this. Everybody's panicking everywhere. We got to dive into who has the most leverage here. Does Terry McLaurin ultimately end up playing for another team? Does he eventually sign here long term? We're going to dive into everything that we know up until this point. But before we get into everything, make sure you still farm that like button, still farm the subscription button, still farm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned to all of the content. Appreciate y'all for watching every video, making it all the way through the videos, leaving likes and all of that. Shouts out to y'all, man. And I'm not going to waste any more of y'all time. Let's go ahead and dive into this video immediately. Let's get it. Adam. All right, so Jordan Schultz was the initial source for all of this. He was the catalyst. He was the first person on it. He tweeted exactly at 6:39 p.m. breaking. The Commanders All-Pro wide receiver Terry McLaurin has requested a trade. Multiple sources tell me. And shouts out to Jordan Schultz for being first with that, just like he was with the Jamar Chase T. Higgins contract extensions and things like that. But either way, Ian Rappaport came behind them and said that the negotiations stalled and Terry McLaurin is holding in with no progress. I thought that was an interesting wording right there. Like, not only are they far apart, but apparently, according to Ian Rappaport, from what he's hearing, there has been no progress. Like, none. We haven't moved anywhere. Nobody's budged. Not even like $1 million to spare on either side to get closer to what we're talking about. Both of them are standing 10 toes down on the numbers that they probably threw out there since months ago. No progress. Shouts out to Ari Myrov. He said Terry McLaurin has been seeking a long-term extension that reflects his value, but Washington has been resistant, and now here we are with a trade request. And also, Jordan Schultz said that my understanding is that Terry McLaurin's trade request was made within the past 30 minutes. So mind you, again, he tweeted the initial update at 6:39 p.m. And then he said that the request just happened within the last 30 minutes at 6:47 p.m. So like, this just happened. This is very fresh. Terry McLaurin less than an hour ago, well, from the time I'm recording this, just hit the big red button. And now you have people all over the place, you know, giving their takes as to where Terry McLaurin's going to end up. Like, you have Ian Hartitz over there saying Terry McLaurin trade destinations with tears. He said scary awesome, Bills and Chiefs. Less scary, still awesome, Patriots. Pass, Steelers and Seahawks. Lots of fun. Chargers, Broncos, 49ers. I don't hate it. Raiders and Titans. Definitely know the Colts. Cool because Ohio State, but also, man, Jets, Cardinals, and Saints. Again, people are all over the place and panicking over this situation. Again, I'm going to talk y'all off of the cliff really soon. But shouts out to Mark Bullock. He said this is one of the final leverage plays that he even had. He tried to hold out. That didn't get him anywhere. He tried to hold in. He's been pulling up the training camp practices, signing things, and we're going to dive into that later and why I feel like he's getting terrible advice and guidance from his agent. We're going to dive into all of that, of course. But then he also said now that, of course, he's gotten to the point that where he's requested a trade. So this is just like the next step. And, of course, the Sutton deal definitely hurt his position and leverage this week. Like, that Sutton deal messed up everything. Like I've said, I strongly feel like Adam Peters was not talking or really even budging on his contract negotiations with Terry McLaurin because he was probably had some background information, some insider information that a Cortland Sutton deal would get done soon, and we can use that as our leverage. Like, hey, Terry, I know you're better than him, but same age, similar production. We're going to try to base the deal that we're offering you around him. So I believe it when Terry McLaurin pulled up to that Eastern Motors interview and said that I haven't even spoken to the team in like a month or two or something like that. And that lets me know that Adam Peters and those guys have given him a number and stood firm on that. And I believe they were waiting for the Cortland Sutton deal to come out for them to, you know, use that as leverage towards Terry McLaurin. And then, of course, just a full breakdown real quick. McLaurin has expressed his desire for a new contract this offseason, with talk stalling on a new deal. McLaurin informed the team he wants to continue his career elsewhere. Adam Schefter reports that multiple teams have reached out to Washington to gauge McLaurin's availability. Washington has shown no interest in trading their star receiver at this time. We're going to do a deep dive into that. That whole Deanna Rossini report. McLaurin, of course, 29 years old. He will be 30 by the start of the season, basically. Was selected selected with the 76th overall pick in the 3rd round out of Ohio State by Washington in 2019. He signed a 4-year, $3.9 million rookie contract. He was set to become an unrestricted free agent in 2023 when he signed his 3-year, $71 million extension, which he's currently on right now. He's entering the final year of that deal and is set to earn a base salary of $15.5 million in 2025. In 2024, last season, McLaurin appeared in all 17 games, recorded 82 receptions on 117 targets. He was statistically the best contested catch receiver in the entire NFL, according to several metrics and advanced stats. I already gave y'all that in my previous video when I talked about Terry McLaurin. But he had 1,096 yards total, 13.4 yards per catch. But most importantly, he had 13 touchdowns, and that's what really separates him from Courtland Sutton. You know, Courtland Sutton and Terry McLaurin, same age, very similar stats in every way except for the touchdown. Terry McLaurin beats him by a significant margin in the touchdown category. So that's maybe something that Terry McLaurin's pointing at. Like, yeah, we're the same in a lot of ways, but I get way more touchdowns than this guy. And of course, moving on, again, Ian Rappaport said that there has been no progress made. I thought that was like the craziest part of everything. I thought that was even slightly crazier than him requesting the trade in the first place. Like, this is crazy. Now you have Denzel Ward out here recruiting his former Ohio State teammate to come to Cleveland. And okay, man, it's chaos right now. This is the talk of the NFL right now. There is a Hall of Fame game. This is about to be the first game played to start off this and to kick off this entire NFL season. This is going to be the first any bit of football we've seen since the Super Bowl, and people are more concentrated on this situation than the actual football game. And I'm definitely going to try to tune into that football game for at least a little bit, because I'm one of those guys that misses football immediately. Once the Super Bowl ends, I'm sick to my stomach. Can't wait to get back to football. But right now, this Terry McLaurin situation is definitely overshadowing everything. I mean, you even have people like Dominique Foxworth and Bomani Jones. I'm like actively right now getting tweets. I've never really seen these type of guys talking about Terry McLaurin, but now everybody in the national media is talking about him, which further proves my point. Also, Ari Marov said that considering all the positive momentum that Washington had last year and how important Terry McLaurin has been to the team, it's genuinely shocking that we've reached this point. Just stunning. I agree. And hey, man, I hope he knows that if that reported $34 million or more a year that he's apparently asking for, if that's true, nobody's willing to pay that. Well, correction. Actually, no team that you want to play for is willing to pay that. The only reason that a team can even afford to play that, and on top of that, willing to even pay that, is because they are a bad team to begin with. So sacrificing any chance of winning anything meaningful and ever reaching an NFC championship or any conference championship ever again, any chance of possibly winning the Super Bowl when you're already 30 years old, I mean, you're sacrificing that for a potentially just slightly better contract. I mean, I'm pretty sure the contract that the Commanders are offering right now, yeah, I know you may at least want a little bit more than that, but hey, you're on a potential Super Bowl contender, a strong Super Bowl contender this year, a team that's going to be great for the foreseeable future, and you're still making a lot of money. I mean, you're willing to sacrifice all of that just for a little bit more of a lot of money. Is pretty interesting, but we'll see. Matt Harmon brings up a good point. He said, my guess is the Broncos giving another 29-year-old wide receiver a deal that averaged $10 million less than what Terry McLaurin wants did not make this already contentious negotiation any easier. It definitely made it worse. It definitely made Adam Peters cross his arms like, see, the little Shannon Sharp meme. Like, we ain't even got to talk. Courtland Sutton just signed for $23 million a year. Ain't no way you asking for 30 plus right now. And Matt Harmon also said Washington is seemingly hung up on age here, and I can definitely see that being the reason, which might be fair, but also fair. Terry is much better than Courtland Sutton and has the right to ask for DK money per year money. I don't think so. I think more so the problem is now I think Terry McLaurin is slightly better than DK Metcalf. I just feel like the Steelers vastly overpaid for DK Metcalf, and right now we're suffering for it. So thank the Steelers for that one, because Terry McLaurin does deserve more money than significantly more money than Courtland Sutton. He deserves slightly more money than DK Metcalf technically, but DK Metcalf's already making $33 million a year. We're about to make Terry a top 3 paid wide receiver in the NFL just because the Steelers overpaid for DK Metcalf. You know, the only people getting paid more money than DK Metcalf right now are Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Love Terry. He's not those guys. He's not even in the same tier of those guys, honestly. But JP Finley also brings up a good point. He said Terry McLaurin is obviously frustrated, and the trade request was kind of his last card to play outside of actually missing like real games once we get to the regular season and stuff like that. I wouldn't have expected it until mid-August, but maybe that speaks to the level of frustration that Terry McLaurin is feeling right now. It may also, speak to the level of like, we're trying to get something going. Like either pay me or trade me. I'm trying to be involved in training camp. Terry McLaurin definitely seems like the type of guy that wants to be at those training camp practices and things like that. And I'm pretty sure this is more so than anything else, just another ploy from the Terry McLaurin side with his agent. Well, again, we're going to talk about his agent, Buddy Baker, a little later. It's probably just another move to try to get things going a little bit quicker. We want to play now. I want to practice. And so, hey, either pay me so I can practice now with the Commanders or trade me and let another team pay me so I can practice right now with the other team. I feel like that's Terry McLaurin's situation. He's trying to hurry all of this up, expedite this whole situation because he wants to go ahead and get back to football. He is a guy that misses football. That's why he's been holding in. He's been at practice. I already think that whole ankle injury thing is fake. That's just a way to not make him not look like the bad guy. And like, even if we paid him, he technically couldn't play right now because he has an ankle injury. But I really don't believe that. So shouts out to Grant Paulson. He said Terry McLaurin requesting a trade is a way bigger deal than him holding out and also a way bigger deal than him holding in. I agree. He's saying, quote, I'd rather get the money I feel I deserve than be in DC. This is his last massive leverage play, unquote. But I feel like he doesn't actually believe that inside. I feel like he's just saying that outside, to the Commanders, to Adam Peters and those guys, just to do whatever he can to try to get whatever extra money that, try to increase his leverage in the negotiations, whatever. Shouts out to Mark Bullock. He said the Commanders do still hold a pretty good amount of leverage here, though. So I don't think they will give in to a bit of extra pressure, but this was one of the main cards McLaurin had left to play. The next one is a trade request. So he wrote this like days ago. The team had no intentions of trading him and could just deny the request simply. People forget that. He requested a trade. He did not go as far as demanding a trade. The team could just be like, no. And then that's it. That's all Adam Peters and those guys have to do. No. N-O. 2 letters, 1 syllable, move on. Terry McLaurin can do all of this, all of these theatrics. Again, I feel like he's getting bad guidance from his agent. We're going to talk about that soon. But all Adam Peters just has to fold his arms and just, no. I'm not. And that's it. That's literally the end of that. But plenty of deals have gotten done recently where teams grant the request, the player and their agent go see what they actually can get on the open market, and then the team matches the top offer to get the deal done. So that could potentially be the path here. Maybe they will accept the request and be like, all right, you think grass is just so much greener elsewhere. Please show me what numbers other teams are talking about. Please come back and let me know that this team is actually offering this with a straight face. And then maybe we'll think about matching that, getting somewhere in the range of that or something like that. So we'll see. Maybe they will actually let him go seek a trade, give his agent and him a permission to actually go and talk to other teams. Because right now he technically can't. Him and his agent cannot just go to other teams like, hey, what are you willing to pay Terry McLaurin right now and things like that. So they have to wait, Terry McLaurin and his agent, until the Commanders give him the heads up. Hey, go ahead. We're standing right where we are. Whatever we have offered you, and there's been reports that it's somewhere around Cortland Sutton, like $23, maybe to $25 million per year money. Apparently, reportedly, Terry McLaurin wants somewhere like $34 million a year. So there's like a $10 million gap. This ridiculously large gap that does scare me a little bit. And Adam Peters and them are like, man, we told you what we're willing to pay you. Go see if what else other teams are offering you right now. And remember, we're a Super Bowl contender. If the Patriots come out of nowhere and offer you ridiculous money, like they've already overspent in free agency already, and you're just going to go to this random team that just got bandaged together out of nowhere, good luck with that. You're going to go from Jaden Daniels to Drake May. Drake May's talented, but come on, dog. Come on, man. And if the Commanders want to hold firm in their position of what McLaurin is worth, we will see. And then also, I think that maybe it's not like a lot of additional leverage here for Adam Peters in this side, but Debo looking like a true wide receiver 1 in camp, that he's already exceeding everybody's expectations so far up to this point. Of course, he hasn't played an actual game in the regular season for the Burgundy and Gold yet, but he's exceeded all expectations. He looks like a far more nuanced and technically refined receiver than I've ever seen him look like for the 49ers. He was a gadget guy, a secret weapon that you just give him the ball behind the line of scrimmage. So far in training camp, he's looked like a true wide receiver 1, where now he has a release package at the line of scrimmage. We're seeing him track the ball from behind like I've never seen him do for the 49ers. For the 49ers, he was dropping open slants that went right to his chest. With the Commanders, he's doing one of the most difficult catches you can possibly do in all of the sport right now. So I think it does help the team gain a little bit more leverage that Deebo Samuel is balling out and looking prime to possibly even have a Pro Bowl year. Probably his best year that he's had since 2021. I mean, he looks like he's that good so far in training camp. It's very early, but I mean, he couldn't have done any better so far than what he's done right now. Again, exceeded all expectations. But again, I already feel like they have a lot of leverage. Maybe this just adds a little bit more to it. But at the same time, some of those other receivers on the depth chart are dropping passes in training camp, and maybe that gives Terry McLaurin back a little bit of leverage. Maybe they cancel each other out. Speaking of leverage, Al Galdi brings up a good point. He said the leverage in the Terry McLaurin situation is overwhelmingly with the Commanders. He's under contract for 2025. I just talked about this in my last video as well. Go check that out. I even did a YouTube short about it. That the team technically could just force him to play out this 2025 season. Then they can go and franchise tag him in 2026, possibly even do it again in 2027. And I believe the number on that franchise tag for 2026 was somewhere around like $27-28 million. So it's like, why would we pay you more than that if we could just franchise tag you and just pay you that? And then by the end of the 2026 season, going into the 2027 season, you'll be 32. How much money are you possibly going to command from the open market at 32 years old? You're struggling right now at 30. 2 years after that, it's not going to help your case at all. So really, the Commanders can lowball them, do them real dirty, and play the real hard end of it and be like, hey man, you don't sign for what we're willing to give you, then technically you're under contract right now. You can't go anywhere. And I know you're not going to try to skip out on this season and not playing regular season games, because time is not on your side. Time is on the Commanders and Adam Peters' side right now. Again, you're already 30. You're only getting older. And most people around the league are going to perceive your age as a reason as to why you're not going to be as good in the near future than you currently are right now, and why there may be some sort of a cliff eventually physically for you, and a reason why we shouldn't give you big money, especially long term. So the Commanders, at the worst case scenario, can get to the point playing 2025 on the current deal that you're playing under right now. We're offering you more than what you're getting paid right now under your current contract, but we're not offering you ridiculously way more like DK Metcalf money. So go play in 2025 on this current deal that you apparently hate so much. And then worst case scenario, we just franchise tag you in 2026. Now where you gonna go? You know what I'm saying? So they could do that. I hope that we don't get to that point. I hope business doesn't have to get that ugly. But Terry McLaurin really doesn't have much leverage here, man. I mean, the Commanders can literally play this year to year. And shouts out to Al Galdi. He said if an extension is going to happen, it's going to happen on Adam Peters' terms. I do agree that the Commanders have the overwhelming amount of leverage right here. This was really like the last-ditch effort of Terry McLaurin trying to get back any little bit of leverage. But even requesting this trade is going to hit headlines. You're going to see everybody panicking about it. But at the end of the day, the Commanders, even after this trade request, have all of the leverage. Again, he requested a trade. The Commanders still even have the leverage to say, oh yeah, you can go look around, or they could just straight up deny it, sit yourself here, and hey, continue to not practice. It's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Commanders have all of the control here, even to the level of Terry McLaurin can't get traded without the Commanders' permission. Like, they're every step of the way, the Commanders have complete control. Shouts out to Colin Dunphy. He said Peter should have traded him months ago if they were so far apart, in his opinion. But Mark Bullock, I agree with Mark Bullock's tweet. He said if they had no intention of doing a deal, then sure. I mean, cool. But I think they'll still get something done. McLaurin is just pulling every lever that he has right now. He's pulling out every trick in the bag. All right, hold out. I didn't get anywhere. Hold in. Oh, okay, request a trade. Who knows what he's possibly going to do now? I think this is as far as he'll go, possibly. I don't think there's going to be any crazy updates except for him signing a contract extension at this point. This was always felt like this may be inevitable, but I think this is literally the last trick he has. So we'll see what happens after this. Shouts out to Mark Tyler. He brings up a good point. How many star players have requested a trade and then gotten their long-term deal? This is something I've brought up in several videos now. Still not worried, as this is just part of the posturing, and Terry's agent saw the fan reaction when he came out to the practices. What better way to put pressure on Peters in the front office than to make headlines and everybody's talking about it? Again, this is going to overshadow the Hall of Fame game that's coming up, and from what my point of view of recording right now, 7:30 p.m., it's going to start in 30 minutes. But JB Finley brought up a good point, the reminder that many players ask for a trade during contract talks and then will eventually sign with their current teams. Ethan Cadeau, he said Lamar Jackson requested a trade from Baltimore in 2023. Myles Garrett requested one from Cleveland earlier this season. Both ended up signing long-term, record-breaking extensions. I don't even think Terry's going to get anywhere near that. Requesting a trade was one of the last leverage moves that McLaurin could even possibly make. I agree. He also pointed out the fact that a trade request does not mean a trade is imminent. I agree. For what it's worth, Deebo Samuel requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers in March of 2022 when Adam Peters was there, and he ended up signing an extension with the 49ers later in July, just a few months later. Still a less than ideal situation for McLaurin and the Commanders, but this is quite likely just going to end up with Terry McLaurin signing a contract extension. I don't think he actually legitimately wants out. Remember, Myles Garrett, February 3rd, officially requested a trade from Cleveland, and it wasn't even like a request. It was like a goodbye, I'm out, I'm mentally and emotionally checked out. I'm gone. Like, there's no way I'm coming back. Goodbye, Cleveland fans. I appreciate y'all. Like, Terry McLaurin hasn't even gone to that extent. And again, February 3rd, when Myles Garrett penned that entire letter and everything like that, March 9th, Myles Garrett signs a contract extension with Cleveland. Like, we should not have to worry about this at all, man. I mean, there's so many examples, man. You have Jonathan Taylor. He did it with the Indianapolis Colts. You have Brandon Ayuk. He did it with the 49ers. There's just so many examples. Even just Jamar Chase last year holding out all the way up into basically almost the regular season. You know what I'm saying? It's been so many examples. Shouts out to Mike Hall. He brings up a good point, too. He said, funny how Tony Pauline was just on 106.7 earlier today, saying his sources are telling him that a 2 to 3 year deal with big guarantees should happen sooner rather than later, and then this comes out later on. And I do think that's interesting. Tony Pauline came out and basically said, hey, Commanders fans, relax, something's about to get done soon. Next thing you know, this comes out. So I don't know what's going on. Mike Hall brings up a good point. Maybe this is just a last minute Hail Mary from the agent to see if they could just get a slightly bigger deal. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can go to another team and be like, oh, point to Adam Peters, hey, this other team's willing to pay this much. So, hey, I know that we were close on this right here. Maybe if you just spice it up with a couple of extra million, couple of more guarantees, maybe another year on the contract or something, then we'd be willing to do it. And we mean business to the point that we're going to request a trade to get that extra couple of million or whatever. Who knows what's going on? We're just spitballing a lot of ideas right now. But even just moving on now to talk about this agent that has been at every practice with Terry McLaurin since he's pulled up, at least since I'm not sure if he was there 100% the first one, but every other practice that Terry McLaurin has pulled up for training camp and just been sitting on the sideline talking, chilling, and signing things for fans. The agent has been there, and Mark Tyler brought up a good point. He said this is getting messy with this whole trade request thing, but given this agent, I'm not surprised. And I firmly believe that this whole thing is very agent driven. Like I've said several times in several videos, and even last night with the Commanders Kings, I think if Terry McLaurin had better representation with another agent, or if Terry was representing himself, he would have been signed. I think this agent is really holding Terry McLaurin hostage and you know, giving him bad guidance and you know, working in bad faith but on Terry McLaurin's behalf, and basically being like, no, we're gonna fight for every single extra penny we can get. Like, you are my best client by far. It's literally Terry McLaurin. I forgot the other guy's name, but he makes, like, remember, Terry McLaurin right now, biggest client of the entire agent of the Buddy Baker and all of that type of stuff. I think he's like $23 million a year right now, like with this last year of his deal. And that number, Terry McLaurin hates it so much, he's not even willing to show up to training camp practice to that number. Then you got to go like 8 or 9 million less than that to the second biggest client on Buddy Baker's list. And then after that, you go down like another 8 million to get to Jeremy Chin. And then it's just a bunch of random guys. Like, I mean, shouts out to DeAndre Carter and anybody that's made it to the NFL level. I haven't, so I can't talk down on them. But like, this guy's client list, he's clearly treating Terry McLaurin like the golden ticket, the meal ticket to, hey, everybody respect me. I got Terry McLaurin this much money. Now you have to respect me. And that will help me leverage on to potentially representing other big names. Right now, Terry McLaurin is my only big name in the business. So let me scratch and claw for every penny I can possibly get, instead of just taking whatever good deal that even Terry McLaurin was probably willing to take at this point. I want y'all to remember, y'all boy Buddy Baker, I'm saying y'all boy because I'm not claiming him. Again, he has no other client near Terry McLaurin's level out of everybody he's represented. And you know why? Because the guy's from the same hometown as Terry, Indianapolis. So this seems more likely than not some type of like hometown or family friend that Terry McLaurin's like, yeah, you know, big dreams, you know, I'm gonna bring you with me, you're gonna be my agent, we're gonna go get this money and stuff. So that's what it's really feeling like right now. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but no, but it is true that they are from the same exact hometown. Again, I don't think Buddy Baker's working in great faith on behalf of Terry McLaurin right now. I think he's doing too much. I think all of the anger that half of the fan base has for Terry, another half of the fan base has for Adam Peters, I feel like we should all combine and point that anger towards Buddy Baker right now. And also, I mean, why does the agent keep pulling up the training camp practice? Shouts out to J. Daniels MVP. He said, I will admit that it's kind of weird to see that Terry's agent is with them at each training camp practice. Is that really applying pressure to Adam Peters? Like, what is that doing? What is he standing in the way? Like, Adam Peters, you can't talk to my client until you talk to me. Like, what I'm confused. Like, I have no idea why this agent is there. Mike Hall said, is the agent there every day because they are talking, or is he just there to prevent them from getting in Terry's ear without him in the room? Like, he wants to make sure everything that's ever said to Terry, it's through him. Like, is he trying to be a proxy in between or something like that? So as the shooter said, an agent is at every practice every day, but isn't getting any closer to a deal being done. So he's just there for the Ashburn vibes. I'm very curious. Shouts out to DC Sports Dre. He said Terry's agent won't even let him go to the bathroom by himself. He's not playing. Again, I don't exactly understand what he's doing here, but I don't think it's working. Shouts out to Denton Day D-Day over there. He says, so I guess this means Terry isn't going to sign any more autographs at practice anymore, right? So now when we go to training camp, he's requested a trade. Maybe that is to the level of the point, like he's not going to be signing anything anymore. He's going to stand there and mean mug everybody when he's at practice from now on. I doubt it, but at the same time, I never thought it would get to this point as far as who Terry McLaurin is and his character. So at this point, I wouldn't be surprised by anything. Terry McLaurin going to just start mean mugging him and his agent next side by side, mean mugging everybody at practice. Pay me. But he probably might just wear a pay me shirt, pay me or trade me type of situation. Shouts out to Mark Bullock though. He said from the Commander side, very much doubt they'd actually trade him. Will probably just flatly reject it, but could grant him permission to find what he could get elsewhere and work a deal off of that. You know, use that as another reference point. Right now, I'm pretty sure Adam Peters and the Commanders are definitely utilizing at Cortland Sutton as a reference point as, hey, you should be making slightly more than this guy, and that's it, no more than that. But maybe if they allow him to request a trade and actually give him permission for that trade, and then he goes and talks to other teams, then maybe we can reset that reference point with another guy. Like, well, not even another guy, just another team. This other team is willing to pay him this much. But last night, while we were live during the Commanders Kings, Deanna Rossini came out with the report that multiple teams have inquired over the last few months about trading for Terry McLaurin, and they have been told no every single time. No doubts, no, okay, let me hear you out. What you talking? What we thinking? Like, let's brainstorm. Talk to me. I'll talk back type. No, it's been flat out no's. Apparently, the Washington Commanders have turned down every trade request regarding star receiver Terry McLaurin as the team navigates through his contract negotiations. Now, I do want to give you the update that this was written before he officially requested a trade, but I'm pretty sure even him requesting the trade doesn't change the Commanders' stance on this. Deanna Rossini said, quote, I can tell you they're not trading him. That's not on the table at this moment, at least. Teams have inquired over the last few months, and they've all been told flat out no, unquote. So again, in my opinion, this is just another step in contract negotiations to try to squeeze out any extra pennies and extra millions he can get in the contract. I think ultimately this ends up getting done at some point. I really do. I'm very confident in that. Then again, I was confident that this would get done and handled and long-term extension signed and all of that before we even got to training camp. So who knows at this point? But it is reassuring. It is relaxing to hear that the Commanders are like, nah, we're not trading him. I don't care what's offered. I don't care what's going on. We're not trading this guy. But shouts out to Washington today. I agree. He said, Adam Peters, I've trusted you all up until this point. I'm going to say I'm going to trust you even through this point. And he said, you can still make this right. And so I halfway agree there that, like, Adam Peters, we are looking at you like, what's your move? Let's see how you play this. But I'm super when in doubt, trust Adam Peters. Again, this is the guy that took us from 4 wins to 14, including the playoffs, in just one off season. And he's already built us into not only just a team that looks like we could compete for Super Bowls, but a team that looks so great that Von Miller said it himself, that you can't just leave Josh Allen and a team that's perennially just gone to the AFC Conference Championship and things like that and just go to any old team. So I chose the Commanders intentionally. Adam Peters has built a team that Von Miller pulls up to ring chase with within just 1 year of being here. So, hey, man, when in doubt, trusting Adam Peters. But shouts out to Seawall Sports, man. Shouts out to her. She said, teams have been calling for Terry McLaurin, and it's been months now. The Commanders have said he's been unavailable. Let's see if his wish is their command. No pun intended. I mean, I really am curious to see who's in command of this situation, which is why we named the Commanders. Shouts out to Grant Paulson. He said, I could not come up with one legitimate reason why the Commanders would trade Terry McLaurin. Jaden needs him to go into year 2. They can't go where they want to go without him, and he's under contract, so eventually he's got to show up and play. Again, like I said earlier, he is especially to the age where he can't afford to miss out on seasons. And then also, Grant Paulson said, I get the request. He's upset. I just can't see the team doing anything other than telling him they will see him when he's ready to play. Basically, again, we've given you an offer. We're not budging. You're going to pull up by the time the regular season starts, whether you like it or not. So we're not moving. You're going to come down and accept this money that we're giving you right now. Maybe we'll budge a little bit, but we're not going to meet you halfway, anywhere near for whatever he's asking for right now, which is, again, been reported to be somewhere more than what DK Metcalf is getting. Also, shouts out to DC Rising, too, because he brings up an interesting point. The Terry McLaurin situation is such a lose-lose situation. In regard to this, where we're just going to hear stuff from other fan bases, because it's either going to be you overpaid or you didn't pay Terry, y'all are so dumb, and now you ended up trading him. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know now, I don't care what other fan bases are saying. We are Super Bowl contenders. Even if we weren't, I still don't care what other people think about us. So at the end of the day, I think it's honestly a win-win. No matter what, we win, but I can see why some people feel like, or you're at least going to listen to the noise of what other fan bases are saying, where either you overpaid or look at you being stupid and not paying them at all and ending up trading them. Just don't listen to all of that outside noise, man. I only brought that up to let you know, man, fan bases are going to talk. They're always going to find a way to flip things in a negative way. Just ignore them, man. I don't care, me personally. I feel like this is going to get done. And even if for some crazy reason we ended up trading Terry, I trust in Adam Peters more than anything else. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know if you feel about everything discussed videos. Please still farm that like button, still farm the subscription button, still farm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Let me know how y'all feel about this situation. Is it time to hit the panic button? Who do you feel like has the most leverage? Again, what is the most, now that he's requested a trade, every time we get a new report, every time we get a step further in this whole situation, I want to know again. Update me, because maybe it's changed. What is the most money you're willing to give Terry McLaurin at the age of 30 on a per year basis? Are you willing to get closer to DK Metcalf, more than DK Metcalf? Or are you somewhere closer to like Cortland Sutton? Or maybe you're somewhere like me in the middle, where like 28 and a half or something like that. Like, let me know what y'all are willing to pay. I mean, I'm honestly willing. I'm cool with giving them 30. I think at the end of the day, the difference between 28 million, 27 million, and 30 million is not that serious when it comes to cap space individually for us. The problem is the ramifications it has on the market for everybody else. And then, you know, these GMs and league owners talk and stuff like that. Everybody's going to be upset at Adam Peters for being the first guy to pay a 30-year-old wide receiver $30 million per year. So that's probably the reason for a lot of this. But at the end of the day, as a fan on the outside looking in, it's not my team. Pay them 30. You know, go ahead, get it done. That extra $1-2 million per year isn't gonna kill us in the cap space. I'm chilling. But let me know how y'all feel. Make sure you leave a like on the way out. And of course, if you made it this far in the video and you're still looking at me and hearing me talk, I really appreciate you. You are the GOAT. I salute to you. Leave a like on the way out. And of course, get in that comment section. I really want to see how y'all feel about everything right here. I'm gonna read and reply to as many comments as possible. Appreciate y'all. Catch y'all later. I'm out.